When women start missing you the most, psychological insights high-value men often overlook. Have you ever found yourself wondering when women actually start to miss you? It's not when you constantly shower them with attention, bombard them with texts, or try to endlessly impress them. Surprisingly, it's quite the opposite. What you're about to discover in this video will challenge everything you think you know about attraction. There exists a powerful psychological trigger that nearly all men overlook, but 95% of high-value men understand and yet often disregard. Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly when and why she starts missing you. Let's dive in. Section 1. The power of absence. Why distance fuels desire. Let's explore one of the most potent yet frequently ignored principles in the dynamics of relationships: the scarcity principle. This psychological concept explains why people tend to value things more when they are less accessible or harder to obtain. This principle doesn't just apply to physical items, it significantly impacts relationships, especially romantic ones. Think about it logically for a moment. What do you cherish more? Something that is always readily available, or something rare and hard to get? The answer is clear: scarcity creates value, and this principle is particularly relevant in relationships. Absence, a necessity for attraction. Here's the key takeaway. When you're constantly available to a woman, you eliminate the possibility of her missing you. Why? Because your presence is never in doubt. You're always there, always reachable, always in her face through texts, phone calls, or just being around. This might seem like a good strategy because being available shows interest, right? But here's where that approach backfires. The human brain needs contrast to appreciate things. Think about how much more you appreciate the sunshine after days of rain, or how you value your free time after a long, grueling work week. When something becomes scarce, its value increases. When you're not always available, she starts to value your presence more. The truth is, absence creates emotional distance, and that emotional distance is crucial for building attraction. When you give a woman space, it allows her to reflect on the times you were together. She'll start to miss you, not because of anything specific you said or did, but because she has the space to feel your absence. Her mind will naturally focus on the positive aspects of your interactions, glossing over any negatives. This is the power of memory. It amplifies the good moments and downplays the bad, especially when those good moments aren't constantly available. Section 2. Why high-value men overlook this principle. Now, let's discuss why most men, including many high-value men, overlook this fundamental principle. It boils down to a misunderstanding of what women actually want in a relationship. Many men think that being consistently available, constantly texting, or always saying yes to plans will keep her interested. They believe that the more they're around, the more she'll like them. But here's the kicker. Constant availability leads to predictability, and predictability leads to boredom. When you're always available, there's no sense of mystery, no excitement, no tension. And tension is key to maintaining attraction. Even the most successful high-value men can fall into the trap of thinking that their status, wealth, or looks will keep her interested. But if there's no space for her to miss you, all those external factors will eventually fade into the background. Think about it like this. Imagine your favorite food, something you absolutely love eating. Now, what if you had to eat that food every single day for every meal? Pretty soon you'd get sick of it. The novelty would wear off, and you'd find yourself craving something else, something different. The same thing happens in relationships. When you're always there, the novelty wears off, and she starts to take you for granted. Key takeaway: creating space without pushing her away. So, how do you use this principle without seeming distant or uninterested? The answer lies in balancing availability and absence. You don't want to play games, but you also don't want to be overbearing. Start by being mindful of how much time and attention you're giving her. If you're always the one initiating conversations or plans, take a step back and let her come to you. But here's the important part. Don't do this out of manipulation. Do it because you're genuinely focusing on your own life, your own goals, and your own growth. When you're busy with your own pursuits, whether it's building your business, hitting the gym, or developing a new skill, you'll naturally create space between you and her. That space is where attraction thrives. She needs time to wonder about you, to think about what you're doing, and to miss your presence. When you give her that space, she'll appreciate your time and attention even more when you're around. That's when the real attraction starts to build. Section 3. The push-pull dynamic. Mastering emotional tension. Now, let's move on to another essential principle of attraction, the push-pull dynamic. This is a psychological tool that creates and maintains emotional tension between two people. It's not about playing games. It's about understanding the natural rhythm of attraction. At its core, the push-pull dynamic is exactly what it sounds like. The push is when you're giving her attention, engaging with her, flirting, making her feel special. The pull is when you take a step back, give her space, and let her come to you. This creates an emotional roller coaster, and people are addicted to emotional roller coasters. Just look at the success of dramatic TV shows or reality series. It's the emotional ups and downs that keep people hooked. How the push-pull dynamic works in relationships. The push-pull dynamic works because it creates a sense of uncertainty. When you push, you're showing her that you're interested. And when you pull, you're giving her time to question how much you're invested. This doesn't mean you're being manipulative or leading her on. It simply means that you're not giving everything away up front. You're creating an emotional balance that keeps her engaged. Let's say you're texting a woman regularly and things are going well. You're building a connection and she's clearly interested. Now, if you're constantly texting her back immediately, always available and always pushing, you'll soon eliminate any tension or mystery. There's no emotional pull, there's only push. She knows exactly where she stands, and while this might sound like a good thing, it kills excitement. But if you mix in some pull, maybe you don't reply right away or you're busy with something else for a day or two, you create a sense of unpredictability. She starts to wonder what you're up to, and that curiosity triggers emotional engagement. She begins to invest more because she's not entirely sure where she stands, and this keeps her interested. Why push-pull is essential for long-term attraction. The push-pull dynamic isn't just for the early stages of dating. It's essential for maintaining attraction in long-term relationships as well. Even if you've been together for months or years, this dynamic helps keep the relationship fresh and exciting. Over time, many relationships fall into routines where both partners become comfortable and predictable. While there's nothing wrong with stability, too much predictability can lead to complacency. By continuing to apply the push-pull dynamic, you keep the emotional connection alive. You remind her that there's always a bit of mystery, a bit of excitement in the relationship. Remember, attraction isn't about being available all the time. It's about creating a balance. When you're too available, there's no room for her to miss you. When you're too distant, she might lose interest. The push-pull dynamic is about finding that sweet spot where she's consistently engaged and emotionally invested. Section 4. Self-sufficiency, the core of attraction. Now, let's dive into the most attractive quality a man can have: self-sufficiency. This is more than just financial independence or having a great job. It's about being emotionally independent, having a fulfilling life outside of your relationship, and not needing her for validation or happiness. Here's the truth. Women are inherently attracted to men who are self-sufficient. Why? Because a self-sufficient man doesn't rely on her for his emotional well-being. He's not constantly seeking her approval or validation. He's confident, secure, and driven by his own goals and ambitions, and this independence creates a magnetic pull. What self-sufficiency looks like in real life. Self-sufficiency isn't about ignoring her or pretending you don't care. It's about having a life that is so full and rich that you're not constantly seeking validation from her or anyone else. You have your own goals, your own interests, and your own passions. And these things make you inherently attractive. For example, let's say you're working on building your career or starting a business. You're passionate about what you do, and you're fully invested in your own personal growth. This shows her that you're not just sitting around waiting for her to fill your time. You have a purpose, and that purpose drives you. Conclusion: when she starts missing you. In summary, the key to making a woman miss you lies in understanding and applying these psychological principles. Absence creates value, the push-pull dynamic maintains emotional tension, and self-sufficiency makes you inherently attractive. By incorporating these principles into your interactions, you'll naturally create an environment where she starts to miss you. Remember, it's not about playing games or manipulating her feelings. It's about being genuinely busy with your own life, pursuing your own goals, and allowing her the space to appreciate your presence. When you do this, you'll find that she starts to miss you more than ever before. So, focus on becoming the best version of yourself and watch as the attraction naturally builds. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights on relationships and attraction.